Hey, Mark.
That Ministerial Search Committee sure is a secretive bunch. I hear that some of their failing members don't even know the gender of the candidate. What do you think they're going to tell us?
Don't know, but it won't be soon enough for me.
Got any ideas? Heard any good rumors?
I'm holding out for Aaron White.
I think a lot of people are, but he and his family are awfully happy up in Dallas. Anyone else?
I'm very fond of Barack Obama.
Me too, but he's not a Unitarian Universalist.
Don't hold that against him.
But he's got a job for another couple of years. I think I'm looking for someone more spiritual than the president.
Why not take that on?
You do a
I would prefer someone that's a little bit more intellectual for me.
like Mr. Spock.
At least my suggestions are real people.
How about Matt Smith?
What are y'all talking about? What are you talking about?
We're speculating about the new ministerial candidate.
Oh yeah? Well, I just heard it was going to be the new Reverend Joanna Crawford from Houston.
That's like too good to be true.
Isn't she the one who shaved her head to raise money for children's research, cancer research?
And she started the Bring a Gay Teen to Church Day in Houston.
And isn't she pretty young? I think she has 4 children.
Yeah, and she's involved in the Church of the Larger Fellowship.
The Church of the Larger Fellowship?
Yeah, that's, you haven't heard of it? It's a way for the UUA to reach UUs who don't have a local church. It used to all be done by snail mail, and now there's a lot of internet content.
Yeah, Reverend Joanna was part of that internet television of the CLF.
Yeah.
She even co-hosts their weekly talk show, The View, on Thursday mornings.
I remember now. Seems like with the Boston bombings last year, they changed their service around and went directly to that. They were able to react very quickly.
Right, Reverend Joanna was involved with that too.
Well, if she's all that, there's no way we'd be that lucky, is it?
Well, I don't know how to break this to you, but while you two were over here speculating, the MSC just announced Joanna is the candidate.
Woo!
I am very, very excited to officially announce to you that Reverend Joanna Crawford will be our candidate. And we think about 10 or 15 minutes ago, she announced it to her congregation, which is the Copperfield campus of the First Houston Church. So we had to wait until she was able to announce it to her congregation before we could tell you. But of course, the waiting has been just anxiety-producing, to say the least.
Yes.
Hi, members of Live Oak. I am so happy to be here to visit, and I can't wait to get to meet each and every one of you in 2 weeks.
Yes.
So she will be here in 2 weeks, and there's so many reasons that we think that she is absolutely the right candidate for Live Oak. This is just a snapshot, literally, but I wanted to give the other members of our committee a chance to tell you a little bit about what attracted them to her.
So the Reverend Eric Post has been a friend of mine for 20 years, since before he became a UU minister. He's currently an interim minister up in Pennsylvania, but he served the church in San Antonio, the church in College Station, so he knows Live Oak. And when I did a reference check on Joanna, he said that she and us were a perfect fit in his mind. Her mentor is Christine Robinson, who's the minister in, at first Albuquerque, has been there since '89. She was my minister in the mid-'90s and the Buckley's minister in the late '90s.
I was drawn to the fact that she's a lifelong Unitarian Universalist and that she does have children actively involved in raising children.
And among the many things that I thought made her the perfect fit for Live Oak, one of the things that impressed me on our interview day, we spent a full entire 8-hour-long day with the minister candidate interviewing. And that day, as you can imagine, just put yourself in that situation, being in an interview for that many hours and how intense that would be. And that day she learned that there had been a death in her congregation, and she was having to take time away from the interview to go and handle phone calls to coordinate things at her home church. And we were, I was very, very impressed with the way that she handled that. She was able to be fully present with us, and I have no doubt fully present with the people that she was dealing with on the phone. And she did it so well that when we were later reviewing our time spent with her, some of the members of this committee had not even remembered that that had happened, because she was just so skilled at her job as a minister in that situation. I was very impressed by that.
Hello. One of the things that impressed me was that before she decided to become a minister, she was very, very active in her church, and she did a lot of leadership positions, and in fact, not only in her church but around the Houston area. And so I believe that she's bringing experience from both sides of the pulpit.
And continuing the theme of leadership, Reverend Joanna kept the Copperfield Church, that's the one that she just announced, to focused on their mission and vision as they merged with the first UU Houston Church that includes 3 satellite churches. And this is a new approach to being church. She also has the ability to listen and connect with people in the wider community. She attended an ecumenical, multicultural divinity school in Houston, and at her graduation, when the dean announced that she had been awarded the school's highest honor, the Academic Excellence Award, he also talked about her being a liberal and a Unitarian Universalist, and said that we conservative evangelicals are much better off for our years spent with her.
And we did a lot of references. Yes, we sound good, thank you. And they were all glowing. And one that was particularly meaningful to me was one that I did with Reverend Susan Smith, who was the district executive for a long period of time and knows well Live Oak, but she's also worked with Joanna. And what she said was that there's some ministers who like to be with a small church, and there are some ministers who feel more comfortable working with a larger church. But what she felt about Joanna is that she would be comfortable in any size church, which meant to me that she would be able to grow with us, which I know is something that we're all looking forward to.
At her interview, I spoke with her, and she said that she'd like to be our minister for the next 25 years. But even more than that, it's the fact that she's thought about it. She patted herself after Reverend Steve Crump in Baton Rouge. And she says that in 5 years, we won't be at the same church we are now. And so she's already planning that on her sabbaticals, that she will work to become the minister we need her to be for the next 5 years.
every 5 years.
During the interview process, I asked this question to each candidate. I said, describe a personal uniqueness you can bring to the live oak. And Reverend Joanne said her life mission is
To love the hell out of the world. So we're going to be going to lunch right now, but we have a 2-page introduction to Joanna that we've prepared for you that we'll be handing out at lunch. If you can't go to lunch, we'll have copies available for you. All of us will be at lunch to answer any questions that you have. This information is going to go up on the website. And let's have a good lunch.